Hello, and welcome to another wonderful Wired Wednesday. My name is Ashley, and this is When Do You Need a New Device? So when do I need to replace my device? When your device, computer, smartphone, tablet, etc., comes to the end of its life, there are a few warning signs that it's time to replace it. In this video, I will talk about some of the things to watch out for and how to know when it's time to move to a new device. Keep in mind that I understand the ease of using the same device for a really long time. You know how to use it, it's comfortable for you, it stays the same, and it's consistent. Unfortunately, though, if you don't do updates because you're afraid of the changes, you could be putting your device at risk for security. The few things that can come up to let you know that your device is ready to replace is, number one, is the battery life in the device starts to drain really quickly. You plug in your device, or it has to stay plugged in because the battery doesn't work anymore. Those kinds of things are a good sign your computer is ready to be replaced. Your device runs out of internal storage space. So all of a sudden, the internal storage on your device has no more storage. You can't fit anything more on it. You need to delete things to fit more on it. Sometimes that's possible, sometimes it's not, because the operating system takes up a very big portion of your hard drive as well. 3, your device is running very, very slow, particularly on startup and shutdown. So if your computer takes a long time to boot up, that's a sign that maybe your computer is getting old. Same with the shutting down. If you feel like it takes forever and you have to go make a coffee and come back and your computer is still starting up, that's a good indication that you might need a new computer or a new device. Your operating system is outdated. Your computer or device after a while won't let you do any more updates to your operating system. And that could be because the computer or device is outdated, which means you can no longer, it's too old, you can no longer upgrade those things. Or it could also mean that, it's time to replace your device because you can't actually get those updates anymore, which means you aren't getting the security updates or patches, which means you could be leaving your computer or device at risk. You can't run new software or upgrade your operating system. So a lot of times you download some new software to use, like a new app or something, and that app won't work because your operating system is too old. So that's also a good indication that it's time to upgrade your device. You can no longer get technical support. So for example, Windows 7, Microsoft stopped supporting Windows 7 about 4 years ago or so. So what that means is that you can no longer call Microsoft to get help if something happens with your computer. So keep in mind those things. So is the operating system out of date, so you can't actually call to get help, from Microsoft or from Samsung or from Google or anything like that. You can't get those tech support things. The people just won't work on it. Microsoft isn't supporting that anymore, that kind of thing. It starts making louder, odd noises. Your computer could turn on and make like a grinding noise. Your phone could actually make noises when it starts up if it's too old and things like that. So just keep in mind of those things as well. If it sounds kind of weird, there's probably needs to get looked at. It becomes very, very hot. So a lot of times these older devices will become very hot when you're using them. Because the battery is becoming outdated and things start to expand. There's all kinds of things that can happen there. It takes forever to start up. So once again, there are a few things that can be that your computer is not starting up fast enough. There are things that are called startup apps, which is a setting in your Microsoft computer. You can go in and you can see what's starting up on startup. So sometimes you'll find that some programs are actually starting up and they're just taking your computer and slowing it right down. If we take a look at that, and that's not what the issue is, then most of the time it means you need a new computer. How long should a device last? Computers can last from 5 to 7 years depending on upgrades and how your machine is running, and depending on what you use it for. If you use your computer like once a week to just check some emails and stuff, it might last a bit longer. If you're using your computer pretty heavily, it might not last as long. Chromebooks have an automatic expiry update expiry, or an AUE, you might hear that before, of 5 to 7 years, which means the computer will stop updating the security in that 5 to 7 year range depending on the computer. So what you want to do when you go into a store to buy a Chromebook is you want to make sure that Chromebook is newer, because basically those automatic expiries start at the day of manufacturing. So if your computer that you buy from any of the tech stores was made in like 2019, and this is now 2022, you only have a few years left on your automatic expiry date. So keep that in mind as well. And also keep in mind that these companies also know that as well. It's like any of those tech companies, they know that that's something. So you may not be able to find it in their list of speculations or and that kind of thing. So keep in mind that Keep in mind that you can always go onto the Google website and you can type in the Chromebook that you're looking at, and it will tell you on that list of how long the automatic expiry update is. So if that is, it could say like it's good until 2027. It could say it's good until 2029. Like it just depends on what it says. And then you know that you're getting a computer you're going to get that full 5 to 7 years out of. If you have a super old device, taking it to a repair shop may not be worth your while. Maybe time to consider getting a new one. If you take your machine to a repair shop and it costs you half as much as you paid for it to repair it, it's probably time for a new computer. How to keep your machine longer? Do regular maintenance on your device. Make sure that you are doing all of your recommended updates. If you don't, you are leaving yourself at risk for security breaches. And finally, replace your computer at the sign of issues to save your information. If you leave things until your computer completely dies, then you could also be losing important files and information that you have not backed up. Sometimes these things can be saved by a paid professional when they open up the computer and such, but sometimes they can't, especially if the computer or device has been corrupted. I hope this helps. Have a great day.